All right.
Sir, how many students do you have in the video conference?
Right now, I just got 5.
What?
Just 5.
My goodness.
Yeah. But they already know because I told them in the WhatsApp group and everything. So, I mean, you know what I mean? It's their call, not mine. All right. So here, for this class, this topic that is called learning factors is important and essential because you guys are working in schools, supposedly, right? Or in private schools or whatever. But learning, learning about the factors that affect the learning process is important because if you identify these factors, then you can prevent them, okay? Then you can do something about it in order to help your students, Here in this words, or let's say in this like mind map, let's say, we have needs, we have input, measure, reinforce, that all these 4 aspects makes the learning process, right? Here we have this, right? But we already know that there are some other factors that affect the learning process, okay? And that those factors are the ones that we're gonna be focusing on and we're going to discuss, okay? We're going to discuss that. So for this week, our objective is learning about these factors, and also most important is to identify them and think about our reality, okay? Think about El Salvador's reality, okay? Thinking about you as students and also thinking about your future students, so you can have an idea about how the future is gonna be, so that's why this topic would be really, really interesting, okay? Here we have some, subtopics that probably are important for you. Some factors that here in this image I found are intelligence, attitude, personality, motivation and attitude, learner preferences, learner belief, and age of acquisition. So we're going to try to discuss these aspects, but first we're going to discuss these 2 questions. For you, and right now, without reading the presentation, without even checking extra material, in your own words, what factors affect learning? Okay, so I'm pretty sure that many ideas are going to come up. Okay, that's the first question. Okay, then we have, do everybody learn at the same speed? That's the other question that has to do with learning styles that you already study about. So what we're going to do right now is that we're gonna discuss, okay? We're gonna have 2 sessions of 3 participants, okay? What I want you to do is to discuss these 2 questions, okay? Give your own opinion. If you don't know, that's okay. Probably your classmate knows and he can share, or maybe you can just guess, okay? Remember that the idea of these discussion sessions are interacting, okay? Talking, sharing ideas, okay? Because we learn in that way as well. You don't learn from me only, you learn also from your peers, all right? So let's go on breakout rooms and I want you to interact, okay? We're gonna discuss for about 5 minutes, then we are coming back, all right? So let's go.
Opinion over the first question. Oh no, Ketini, you can do it first if you want.
No, continue.
One effects of the learning one thing the effects of the learning is the could be at the methodologies, the methods that the teacher use. They could be traditional that the students get bored about how they teach. And another thing could be psychological. How come? I mean that when the teacher motivate the students, they they pretend to learn more and to learn quickly and to learn quicker. I think those are factors that affect the learning. That's my opinion.
I agree with you, but sometimes it's just about motivation. Sometimes the students don't have the good motivation from the parents sometimes, or even though without the motivation of the teachers. But I think it's probably that the most of the motivation depends on myself, what I want to do, what I want to get, and it would be the key to reach to the perseverance to have successful.
Okay, according to the first question, the factor affect learning could be that teacher only write in the whiteboard. It could be so boring and también so the teacher no, I don't know, uh, como que solo él tiene la respuesta. I don't know how to say it in English.
That he's not
And
always right.
okay, thank you. And according to the second,
English app. That's right. Who else is here? ¿Quién más está aquí?
Mr. Torres.
Ah, okay.
It's me. I'm just checking. But I'm sending you one more student.
Okay.
Yeah. Lily Martinez. So hopefully she, accept the request.
Hola chiquita, muchísimas gracias por eso de mí. Saludos hasta.
Did you guys finish discussing?
I think that.
All right. Okay.
Well, I hope that somebody else was here.
No, well, yeah, I added Lily Martinez, but she did not accept the invitation for the breakout room.
Oh.
So she's there, but she's not in the she didn't accept it, so she cannot hear you. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. We're coming back to the to the whole room where everybody is.
All right.
All right. So so I'm gonna ask you just like that, like in a general way about this. What are the factors that you think that affect learning? I mean, according to what you were discussing. Just one volunteer. Anybody?
It can be social factors.
Social factors. Okay. In which way?
Maybe the environment of the students that the students have to face every day.
Okay. But when you say social, you're referring to social, like, because social involves a lot of topic, like politics, like socioeconomic stuff,
Um,
criminality.
Maybe in this case could be the differences between this in the society, right? Some of the students have more opportunities than others or access.
Okay, so social equality would be.
Yes, yes.
Okay, that's awesome. Yeah, that's a really, really important topic. Excellent. Alban?
For example, I can consider one a cultural aspect here in El Salvador.
Okay.
Well, it depends on, for example, children, they don't have fear to make mistakes as an, if we compare, for example, adults, most of us have fear to make mistakes. Uh, and as I said, the cultural aspect, because here in El Salvador, along the years or by the it was created a negative atmosphere that if somebody tried to speak English or talking another language, other people tries to laugh at them. But it could be one of the causes of problem, because maybe we can have another aspects that affects the learning process of a second language.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, you're right. Culture has to do a lot with with learning and affect it sometimes, especially in English, right? Because like you're not going to let me lie, but what happens if you speak English when you are in the bus? What is the attitude of the other people?
Maybe people think that you are a brave person.
Okay. They might think that you are like you're cocky, that you are. They say that esto se la pican, ¿verdad? That's the expression in Spanish. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Estos se creen
People
gringos.
laugh.
They laugh
Laugh.
because they don't understand. You know what I mean? And that's not your fault. However, that is the cultural aspect. You know what I mean? That's
Yes.
a cultural aspect because, like, I mean, who cares? Like in the USA, for example, if you are in a subway, I mean, there are people from everywhere and they speak different languages and nobody pay attention to that, you know.
I see this in the university
Oh,
because when I and classmates talking in English, the other students, the other careers, they se nos quedan viendo.
they look at us.
Yeah, um, the same case passed with the other classmate who have the abogados.
Yeah.
Los que están estudiando leyes están
Okay. People that study law.
love, yeah. They talking about the others love and the other people only see and is really really raro cómo se nos quedan viendo.
Weird. You can say weird. You can say awful.
Sir.
Yes.
And there is another point, as my classmate said.
Okay.
But something is ridiculous with these people, because some years later, if they graduate as a lawyer, they will need an English, somebody who speak English with the idea to translate some documents, legal documents. And most of them don't speak English.
Exactly. They're gonna need you in the future. Miguel, your hand was up a couple minutes ago. Do you want to say something?
Yes, it was about one effect of learning. I think I lost the idea, but it was about constructive. I don't know how to pronounce this word. Constructivism. I don't know. Constructivismo.
Constructivism.
Yeah, that word. So it's one of the approach that the curriculum and the minute use to teach and in the school. But that approach can be a little bit difficult for kids because constructivism means that the students create their own learning, but most of the students need an extra help from a teacher, from the family, from friends, but they couldn't be able to learn by themselves. Once that's one thing that I wanted to share.
And that's interesting because I mean, in the papers, I mean, there can be a lot of things in the theory, you know, but like in reality, you know, the story is it's totally different, you know. But I have faith, you know, I have faith that maybe we can change things, you know. The actual, well, the current, I'm sorry, not actual, the current Ministry of Education, I think she's doing a good job. And hopefully in the future, I probably think that maybe she can work in the curriculum and maybe she can improve it. My idea, it's ambitious. I want the Ministry of Education to select teachers, you know, randomly, or maybe like principals from schools. And I want them to work together and create a plan based on their needs. You know what I mean? So we can develop our education a little bit more. Because I think that we have very smart people here in El Salvador. But what do? They study, they graduate, but they don't find jobs. And so they move, they go to USA. You know what I mean? So we're basically sending workers there. You know what I mean? Professional, we're wasting professionals. And that's a problem as well, you know. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about factors that affects learning, right? Now, about learning at the same speed, nobody said anything. How about this important aspect? Yes?
Everybody think differently.
Mm,
Everybody learn in different ways. As we use, for example, different styles of learning. Some of us are uh, we can learn something by watching videos, a presentation, other by listening to a conversation, discussing something.
yeah.
Uh, every human has a different brain.
Yeah.
I can say that.
Yeah, and also different skills, you know what I mean? Different strengths, different
Yes.
weaknesses. You know, so you cannot teach at the same speed. Sometimes you need to slow down, sometimes you need to speed up, you know, sometimes you need to present videos, sometimes you need to give readings, or you can mix, you know. So in a class, I mean, you're gonna have big challenges, you know. You're gonna have big challenges that you're gonna face, you know, and then you have to be prepared for that, you know. uh, Teachers also need to improvise, but they really know, they really have to know how to improvise. Okay, now of course you got to have a lesson plan, but what happens when something didn't work? Then in the moment you have to think about a new strategy, a new way of getting your students involved. Okay, and that is going to happen to you, and I'm telling you this, like when you go to practices, you're going to see you're going to see what I'm talking about. Or even if you're a teacher already, then you know what I'm talking about. That's part of the reality. Now, here are some factors that we're going to deal with. We got motivation, we got gender, we got age, we got socioeconomic status, or status, if you want to say it that way, and we have level of proficiency. Now, all these factors affect the learning process, okay? Yes, Miguel?
And the screen, it doesn't appear me, sir.
Oh, my bad.
We are not able to see the presentation.
My bad, my bad. All right.
Don't worry, sir.
How about now?
Yes,
Yeah, there
it
is.
works.
Okay. All right, you didn't miss big thing, you know, it was just this, but anyways. So these are some aspects that we need to take into consideration, and we're gonna be studying them, okay? So for this week's homework, then you need this, okay? So you can have a clear idea. However, what you're going to focus for this week is this, but based on a reality, okay? Because that's what really matters here. So now here we have this theory that it says second language learners are different, right? They learn with different speed and different results. There are many explanations for that issue. The general factors that influence second language learning are age, attitude, and intelligence, right? Cognitive style, attitude, motivation, and personality. Okay, this was written by Ellis in 1985. Okay, so these are not my words, these are based on a research that was made in these years, so it's kind of old. So the aim of this article is to represent these factors and their contribution to success or failure in language learning. So this was a research that was made in that time. Now we can have or find new factors, or even we can realize that we have overcome some of them. First, we have age, okay? How can age affect learning? Well, remember how do kids learn, and remember how adults learn, you know? There are some differences, okay? For example, how, have you ever taught a class, guys? Have you ever taught classes here? Has somebody taught a class before in English?
Yes, I have.
Okay, Miguel, who else? Only Miguel. Alban, aren't you a teacher?
Can you repeat again, please?
Aren't you a teacher?
I was working as a teacher, working with adults, and some time ago with kids, teaching piano lessons.
Oh, okay, but not English.
No, not English directly.
Oh, yeah, yeah, because in the videos, I could see that you have the teaching skills, you know? In the videos, I noticed. I thought that you were an English teacher already.
I have some opportunities, small chances to do that.
Okay.
But I didn't work as a teacher
Mm,
so much time.
okay, but Miguel, maybe Miguel can have a clear idea. Okay, Miguel, can you share, have you worked with little kids, Miguel, or adults?
No, only with teenager, but I wasn't work with them. I was doing my teaching practice.
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you, Miguel. So I'm gonna share my experience when I started teaching. Okay. When I started teaching English, it was in 2013. Okay. I was in my third year of university. I already spoke English because I lived in the United States. I went to the United States for about 5 years. When I was 17, when I finished my high school, I went to the US and I learned English there. So then I came back, all right, and I started studying English, like as a professional.
That's the reason you speak English very well. You have a very nice American accent.
Oh, thank you. So yeah, I learned there, and but you know what? Let me tell you something. I didn't go to school, okay? There, I didn't go to school. I learned from people by listening, by making mistakes, okay? That's why I understand, and I understand you when you make mistakes or everything, and that's okay because that's how you learn, you know, making mistakes. So you know, I didn't know any English at all, and I didn't like English. Can you believe that? I didn't like English at all, and I mean, I had to do it, right? Like imagine in a country that you don't know, Nobody spoke Spanish, okay? Because I lived in a town that only gringos were there, you know what I mean? So I had to learn.
You have
So
to face this situation.
I mean, yeah, I had a very, very tiny dictionary, you know, it was a very small dictionary. I remember that it was Inglés sin Barreras, okay? That was the name of it. So I had my very tiny dictionary, and I used to find one word by one and expose, you know? So anyways, that's not the point. So when I came back here in 2010. So when I was in university, then a teacher told me about a job, you know, at Centro Cultural. So I went there, I applied, and then I got the job. So my first year, I worked with kindergarten kids. I didn't have any teaching experience, okay? And they gave me kids, okay? So the good thing is that I already have a daughter, so I kind of knew how to treat kids, okay? So, but I didn't know, you know, I didn't know anything. I had to read, I had to ask other teachers, and that's how you learn, you know? So what I want to say is that it's not the same how you teach a kid that how you teach an adult or a teenager, okay? Or a young adult. There are some differences and some important differences. When you're teaching kindergarten kids, they don't care about grammar, okay? If you stand in front of a class of a kindergarten kids and you start, okay, kids, this is the verb be, repeat after me, blah, blah, blah. They don't care. They don't pay attention. So, I mean, they don't pay attention. If you start teaching like that, they won't pay attention to you, okay? So it's not the same as if you go to an adult class, right? If you tell them, okay, we're gonna learn this because of this, adults, they care about what they're gonna learn because they see that it's important and they see that it's useful, you know? They understand that part and they have previous knowledge, they have previous experiences. But the kids, they don't even know how to write in Spanish. They don't know how to read in Spanish nor English. So, I mean, it's a big trouble, you know, for a teacher. So what I did is that I started reading articles about teaching kids. And you know how they learn? They learn by playing. That's how they learn. They learn with the small games. They learn singing songs, okay? They learn with pictures, okay? And if you bring some letters or words with letters, they won't understand them, okay? Because they don't know how to read. So kids, remember, kids learn by playing, okay? So I used to use puppets, you know, with puppets, and I used to teach them words, only vocabulary, okay? Don't expect kids to speak fluent English, okay? Or to act out role plays or conversations because they won't do that, okay? What they can do is just say words, vocabulary, okay? So that's how kids learn, all right? Now it is different with teenagers. It is different with adults because they have previous knowledge. They know how to write. They have different behavior, okay? So those are the most remarkable differences, okay? So here the article says, age is one of the factors that influence second language learning. It is generally believed that children are better at languages than adults. Pay attention to this. However, only studies conducted in naturalistic learning setting provide the evidence that supports this assumption. Researchers have proved that learners who start learning a foreign language as children achieve a more native-like accent than those who start as adolescents or adults, okay? So it's not that kids learn faster than adults, okay? What happens is that they acquire or they learn or they get a more natural accent. You know what I mean? A native-like accent. You know, no native accent, but a more native-like accent. Okay. And adults and young students, probably they won't get that accent, you know what I mean? And they are also better in the acquisition of grammar, okay? Now, adolescents and adults, they can understand the grammar, but little kids, they don't care because they want to play all the time. Their attention is in something else, okay? So that's one remarkable difference. On the other hand, the research carried out in formal learning environments give the opposite results. In the case of classroom learning, adults appears to be better both in syntax and morphology, okay? While adolescents are the best, right? Are the best, and they also progress faster. And, you know, these researchers have found that adolescents, you know, learn even faster than the adults, right? However, adults are good at syntax and morphology because they understand, you know. One characteristic of adults is that they care about, they ask, basically they're wondering, you know, is this gonna be useful? You know, that's the question that they made to themselves. Is it gonna be useful? And if it is not useful, then they don't pay attention. So if you teach adults, okay, but you explained it, okay, this is gonna be useful for this. This is gonna be useful for this. So they pay attention, you know, but if you just explained, you know, no sense activities, they won't pay attention and they would lost interest, okay? Those are some of the important aspects here in age when you're teaching a language, okay? Guys, the time, it's almost over. So would you mind joining the video conference one more time, please? I'll see you in 30 seconds.
Okay.